Guys, Luke Profits. This is going to be a quick tutorial that goes over how to get your Amazon account set up and ready for drop shipping. I am assuming that you already have an Amazon seller account. Here I am on Amazon Seller Central, which is just, of course, the main place that you manage everything. And I'm going to hover over settings here. You notice if I come down a little bit, we've got return settings and shipping settings. Those are really the two main things that we need to adjust. So we got to make sure that we get returns correct, because with us not being the people who are physically shipping the item, that being Walmart in this example, we if the buyer has a problem and needs to return it, we don't want them shipping it to our house because that's not very helpful. We want them to ship it back to Walmart. And usually Walmart and whatever other suppliers you're using, they're going to be able to give you a free prepaid return shipping label. So we want to be able to get that label from Walmart and then give it to the buyer so that when the buyer returns it, it goes back to Walmart and not to us. And of course, it depends. I'm just using Walmart as an example. I'd really suggest using smaller suppliers, and I'll even go into some examples of those, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So return settings are important to get set up. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm holding down Control when I click so that it opens in a new tab. You could just click it, but I just don't want to lose this tab. So sorry about all the tabs up here, by the way. This is just stuff that I'm going to go through that I think is useful, and it helped me to pull it up before the video so that I could sort of just get through stuff more quickly. So we're going to go ahead and click over here to return settings, and you can see here, these are all the return settings that we're going to have to deal with. So first thing is, of course, like we just said, we want to be able to give the buyer the return label that we got for free from Walmart so that, when they are shipping it back to Walmart, it actually goes to Walmart and not to our house. So this is why, this is important to get set up. So default rules here, basically we just say, I want to approve each request, because that way, it's not, Amazon isn't automatically going to give them a label to ship it to our house. We're going to have to approve it. We also are going to come down here to your return mailing label. Notice right now it says, I would like Amazon to provide an unpaid mailing label. We do not want that. We want to click on, I will provide a prepaid mailing label for this request, because, we want to be able to give our own labels, not have Amazon randomly generate them. Select a carrier here. Shouldn't really matter because, the labels can be different. But for now, let's just select USPS. And then return merchant authorization, RMA number. We are going to do, I want to provide a return merchant authorization number, just in case we don't need Amazon randomly generating stuff for us. Now, also right here, you see return instructions. This is just like what the buyer is going to see are the instructions. And we just want to give them, some general instruction. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. Paste it in here. I'll just read it for you real quick. Returns are accepted within 30 days of receiving the item. A free prepaid shipping label will be provided to allow you to return the item. Once you receive the prepaid shipping label, apply the shipping label to the package, then simply drop off the package at any USPS, UPS, or FedEx, depending on shipping service, or FedEx location. But yeah, whatever. Okay, I will update that on my website too. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and then click Save Settings, but you might notice it's not actually letting us save the settings, and that's a little bit weird, right? Why is that? So if we go over here to return address settings, you'll notice we don't have a return address, and that's kind of a problem because Amazon wants to, have us have a return address. So I'm going to go ahead and click Set the Return Address and manage your return addresses, and we basically just want to add a new address. So in here, you're going to want to put your home address. Nobody should ever be returning anything to your house, but Amazon just wants you to have an address in here to save. So, I just suggest using your home address. That's what I do, but I will close out of this for now. So yeah, you just add your home address in there and then click save. I'm just not doing it for the video right here because I don't want to take the time to censor it out, but that's what, I've done. So now I'm back over here on Amazon Seller Central, and basically the next step is we are going to go down here, hover over settings, and we are going to shipping settings. It probably helps to have like a bit of an example for some of these things. So we'll get into that in a second, but I guess to start, you're going to notice that you've got migrated template right here set as default. You can have different templates, and migrated template is just like the default one that they give you. And like you can create a new one. So basically you could have, the purpose of this is you could have maybe a template for, say you're drop shipping from Walmart. You could have a template for items that come from Walmart. You're drop shipping from Zorro. You could have a template for, items that are coming from Zorro, from Home Depot, from, wherever you're drop shipping from. I'm using big names like, Walmart and Home Depot and stuff like that because it's easy to understand and they're, known brands. But really the ideal brands to use are like smaller brands that are not as well known. And also, some people like read into this too much. Like, a lot of people start with Walmart and are totally fine, and a lot of people use Home Depot and are totally fine. It's just the more obscure of a supplier that you use for drop shipping, the better. So, for example, Walmart is a little bit more risky because they're so popular. Home Depot is a little bit less risky, but still pretty risky. Then you've got I don't know, Harbor Freight Tools, something like that, where it's still well known, but it's a lot smaller than Home Depot. Harbor Freight would be a safer supplier to use for drop shipping than Home Depot would or Walmart would or something like that. So sort of like the more obscure it is, the better, but you don't have to think about it too much, and don't make a huge deal out of what supplier you're using. So basically, if you're drop shipping from, say we were drop shipping from Harbor Freight, we're drop shipping from Walmart, we're drop shipping from all these different ones, we can create different shipping templates for each of those, so that just when we're listing an item, we can pick the correct template and just sort of have everything set up and ready to go. But really, whatever's default is what's going to happen when you are going to create a listing, and that's really all that I'm going to worry about for this one. So we're going to go ahead, with this selected, we're going to go ahead and edit template, and that will pull this up here. So you can give this a name. You could just call it default template. You could even call it like Walmart template. I can't spell. Walmart template right there. But the thing is, since Amazon's going to see this, and Amazon doesn't like you, Amazon's totally fine with drop shipping, but they don't want you drop shipping from retailers that have branded packaging, because if they bought something, if a buyer buys something on Amazon, they don't want it to show up in a Walmart box or something like that. So it doesn't really generally cause problems, but since Amazon can see in your account, probably not the best idea to call this Walmart template, but you could call it wall template or something like that, or W template, something like that, so it's sort of what it means. But if an Amazon rep is looking through your account, then they're not going to say, oh, this is a Walmart dropshipping template. You can sort of code it a little bit for yourself. I'm just going to call it default template, just to make it a little bit easier. And we can leave this stuff at default, scroll down here, and then this is our main spot where we're looking at settings. So I'm going to turn off free economy. Even though we are using free economy, basically, I'm just going to put it under standard shipping, and we're also going to have expedited shipping. There's a trick there that can make you a little bit more money that we'll talk about in a second as well. Since we're drop shipping, we really don't want to have 2-day delivery, because that can cause problems with the handling time and stuff like that. Because basically, these have to do with, how long it actually, the post office has it. Once the post office gets it, how long are they gonna, how long does it take for the post office to deliver it to you? That's what these are about. And then 2-day delivery just means that the 2-day delivery includes your handling time, basically. So I guess real quick here, I'm sure you already know about handling and delivery, but just, for new people, I just want to make this kind of easy. So basically, you've got your handling time and your shipping time, right? So for our supplier, basically, let's say that we are, it's going to take us 2 days to fill the order, and then USPS is going to take somewhere between 3 to 5 days to actually, get the product to the buyer. So basically, I'm going to get rid of the 3 to 5, and we're just going to say 5, because we got a plan for the worst case. So basically, 2 days for us to sort of fill the order, and then 5 days for USPS to actually ship it to the buyer. So 5 plus 2 is 7. So basically 7 days, right? So this, we are talking about, the shipping time, not the handling time. Handling time you don't set in these settings. You actually set it in a separate place. You can do it through Amazon, but it's a little bit annoying, and the actual best way to do it when you're dropshipping is to do it through your repricer at the point of listing an item. So we'll talk about that in a second. But yes, so let me undo this here. I think you get the idea. What we're setting up on Amazon is our shipping time, not our handling time. So handling time happens when we're listing, shipping time happens right here, and we want to make sure that our handling time plus our shipping time equals, the amount of time it actually takes to get to the buyer, with a little bit of wiggle room, because if if something's running late by a day, you don't want that to affect your metrics, because of course this is Amazon. We got to be, responsible and not let our metrics get messed up or anything like that. Like I said, leave all this blank, and then we want to turn off 2-day delivery, because it does not include the handling time at all. 2-day delivery means we got 2 days shipping and 0 days handling, and that's not really going to be doable for drop shipping, at least at this point in time. So that's why we're turning those off. So we're going to start here with standard shipping, And first thing to do is just figure out, do you want to include PO boxes or not? Some suppliers are weird and they won't ship to PO boxes, so a lot of people like to just disable the PO boxes. It sort of depends on your supplier. I'd say best practice, disable PO boxes and just don't ship there. But if you know that your supplier does ship to PO boxes, then you might as well have it enabled because there's no reason to miss out on those sales. So we can see here the regions that we're saying that we will ship to. It puts your state here that you're like in currently as like a separate thing. I'm not totally sure why. I guess they think it's going to be faster delivery, so you can do separate settings just for the state that you're in. But I don't really need that. That should be included in this, so I can just get rid of that one. And also, I don't want to ship to Alaska or Puerto Rico or Hawaii just because that's annoying and can get confusing. Again, you could if you know that your supplier does and you can mess with the extra shipping time, but just best practice for me, I'm just going to get rid of it. And then let's come in here and let me see, where's the button? Edit. And I'm going to turn Virginia back on. Hit OK. There we go. So I've got all the states here, and I guess I put it down here as a separate thing. I forgot about that. So yeah, anyway, transit time. So this is, of course, the standard shipping time in our diagram here. We want to make sure we need to be whatever these numbers are equals 6 days or more to make sure that we're getting it in time because, Zoro takes 6 days to ship. So whatever these numbers are needs to, end up equaling 6. So we're going to set, 2 to 4 days because that gives us 4 days. The big number is what matters here. So if we look here, we're going to do 3-day handling time. This has not been set up yet. Of course, that's going to be set up through the other software. And then 2 to 4 days gives us 4 days. So 4 plus 3 equals 7. And since that is bigger than 6, we're basically going to have our 6 days to actually get the product to them. And then, 1 extra day of wiggle room. So we need to order this within 2 days of getting the sale. And then we will be good for sure. We need 6 days. But here we're giving 7 days. So we got 1 day of wiggle room and then we're good there. This is what we want to do, 2 to 4. Now shipping fee, we're going to actually change this and do item. And we're just going to change this to $9.95. And what we're saying there is basically if you order one item, it's free. If you order, more than that, then you're going to pay an extra $9.95 for each additional item for shipping. It's just kind of a little trick that can help you make a little bit more money here. So I'm going to do this one as well, $9.95. Now you could set this to 0, but the thing is, if somebody's ordering multiple quantity, they're just gonna be like, oh, I got to pay a little bit more for shipping, and most people don't care and will just pay it because they don't even like. Most people just don't care. They're not like, oh, it costs $10 more for the shipping a second one. I could just order 2. Individually, I could order 1 and get free shipping and another and order free shipping, but most people just don't care and they'll just order both together and they'll just pay an extra $10 and that's straight $10 profit to our pocket, which is awesome. Now let's come down here to expedited shipping. Now, since we're drop shipping, we don't actually have control of how quickly the, product gets shipped. All we have control of is how quickly we order it. So, maybe we could order it the same day versus, the day after we get the sale or something like that. And that would cut down the shipping time a tiny little bit. But we can offer expedited shipping. And as long as we can still make that shipping time, we're going to be good. So, how here with standard shipping, we were saying we're going to get it to them within 7 days. But then when we looked on here, we can actually get it to them within 6 days. Well, for expedited shipping, we need to end up making 6 days, right? But if we can do it here, we can just change this to 3 days. So we're going to keep our handling time at 3 days. But instead of having this be, 4 days shipping, we're going to set this to 3 days shipping, which really we don't have control over. But it doesn't matter because as long as we are, shipping our items the same day that we get the sale, we're going to be fine and get it there within 6 days. So really the shipping service is the same. It's just this can be a way to make extra money. So, we can say expedited shipping is available for just $9.95 per item plus $9.95 for each additional item. And then say 1 to 3 days because our handling time is 3 days and then our shipping time is 3 days, which equals 6, which matches and works up with Zoro. And then for our standard shipping, if people don't want to pay extra, then, handling time's 3 days and then our shipping is 4, which just gives us an extra day of wiggle room. But basically what we're doing is we're selling our 1 day of wiggle room here for $10. So probably worth it as long as, you're filling most of your orders right away, which is what you should be doing anyway. Then it's just kind of an easy way to make an extra like $10 per sale for some people because some people will pay for expedited shipping. And, you just have to make sure you're actually filling your orders same day because if you are, waiting a day and then filling them the next day, then that could cause you problems and maybe you wouldn't want to do it. But for me, that's an easy way to make a couple extra bucks if people want to pay for extra shipping and I'm just, filling it a day earlier. That seems like a pretty good deal. So cool. We've got standard shipping set up and we've got expedited shipping set up. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. Final thing here that I want to go over, if you want to figure out, where your sales are going to show up and how you can see returns and, all this different stuff, basically just come on here to Amazon Seller Central and then notice you've got this little orders thing here, manage orders. You can open that and, this is where all your orders are going to show up and you've got, pending, unshipped, canceled, shipped, got all this different stuff, different information, but this is where your orders are going to show up. And then you've also got performance here. If you go ahead and click on account health, and open that up, you can kind of see your statistics for your account. So Amazon is pretty strict on their metrics, so it's not hard to meet all of these metrics. It's just you have to be on top of it and make sure you're not messing anything up. So basically, you've got sort of 3 categories. You got your customer service performance, you got your policy compliance, and you got your shipping performance. Policy compliance is pretty easy. That just sort of has to do with, the stuff that you list and making sure you're not listing bad items. We'll go over this in the next part, but, pretty easy. This is the easiest one, is to just make sure you're not listing bad stuff. And RepriceUp has tools that make that very, very easy. And then customer service performance and shipping performance. So basically, your customer service performance, your metric that matters here is your order defect rate, and your order defect rate is affected by any of these things. So negative feedback, which is anything that's like less than 3 stars. We got A to Z guarantee claims, which, should be pretty easy to avoid by just, offering people free return labels and stuff like that. And just being in communication with buyers, you shouldn't, have to deal with those. These usually come up when you just don't handle buyers' issues. So if you handle buyers' issues, you won't really have many A to Z guarantee claims. And chargeback claims can't really do too much about. That's just when somebody, buys something and then reverses it on their credit card. That sucks, but, as an Amazon seller, they do make you responsible for that. So, if you are selling something and you think there's a very high risk they're going to charge back, just don't list those products because those are bad. So basically, don't list bad products that people are going to leave negative feedback on. List stuff that is a lot of 3-star and up reviews, 4 stars, 5 stars, the more stars, the better, because then people will probably not be upset. And then, handle buyers' customer service problems so that they don't end up going to the claims and causing you problems here. And you just need to have less than 1 issue out of every 100 orders, basically. So every 100 sales you get, just, don't have more than 1 issue and you're going to be fine. So it's just why you want to be careful to keep your metrics pretty tight. And then shipping performance, this is just, we want to be under 4%. So on late shipment rate, we want to make sure that we're always hitting those shipping times. And pre-fulfillment cancel rate, you can't really cancel orders on Amazon because they make it hard. There's a trick where you actually can cancel orders, but you shouldn't do it too much. And I've got a whole video on that. And then valid tracking rate is very easy as well, because that's just, your tracking numbers. Let's see, what else can we go over? If you want to know where to manage your returns, you'd mouse over orders and then come down to manage returns. And this is your spot right here for, handling any return requests that you have and, getting of course, the proper labels from Walmart to, upload to the buyer or Zorro or wherever. Also, other thing that I like to do, you don't have to do it, but if you come over performance, you can just open your little A to Z guarantee claims, chargeback claims. I just like to check this every day and just make sure there's nothing new that I was unaware of, because that way, if there's ever a change, I'm going to be aware of it the day that it happens, rather than, thinking I'm going to get a notification and then accidentally missing it or something like that. So that's pretty much it. Your Amazon account should be set up and ready for drop shipping, and you kind of have an idea of the layout. And then we also went through some examples with sort of the pricing and things like that.